I am your program director for the Apprenticeship Executive MBA. My role is to make sure that you have a wonderful learning experience, learn and take as much out of this program as possible, and support you in your future desire and career. So the program is really a fully immersive senior leader experience. The program's in two phases, really. The first one is the apprenticeship, and then you continue on with the Executive MBA. In the apprenticeship part, you're really exploring your knowledge, skills, and behaviours really in your job role now. And so the focus is where you are in your career today. After that, you then continue on the Executive MBA, and here you're really looking at propelling your career. You're really looking to the future and thinking ultimately about getting up onto the C-suite. So part two is perhaps more experiential. It's more simulation because it's outside of your job role. The first part is really learning these knowledge, skills, and behaviors and then taking them back into the business and trying them out. It's actually the highest level of apprenticeship you can have. It's equivalent to a master's, and therefore you are gaining a formal postgraduate qualification. The apprenticeship scheme itself is really about understanding knowledge, skills, and behaviours. And these are set out in the apprenticeship standard, and it's been developed by industry. The idea is that we will teach you and train you on the theory, concepts, and ideas around being a senior leader, and then it's for you to go back and practice and demonstrate those knowledge, skills, and behaviours. You collate that information, and it's that information you then take forward to your endpoint assessment. And really that's what you get assessed on, the demonstration of knowledge, skills, and behaviours. I think there's a number of distinctions that I can bring out around Cranfield in particular, and the way that we engage with learners. First of all, what I'd like to say is that we are a postgraduate university only. We are unique in that fact. And therefore, we are very well used to working with people like you who are in practice. I'd also like to say that we've had over 50 years now of experience in running MBA programs. And also, we were the first to run the Senior Leader Apprenticeship in the UK. And by the way, if you look at our success of getting students through, we currently have 100% success in getting Senior Leader Apprenticeships through the endpoint assessment. I'd also say that we're distinctive in the way that we teach. We are very close to practice. A lot of the information, ideas that we get are very close to what you will be using in your business in the day-to-day. This idea of knowledge into action is very much the mantra of Cranfield. Another slight distinction is just the people that will be standing in front of you. We often talk about facilitators rather than lecturers. And here the idea is that we really want to engage with you to draw on the knowledge of all of the people who are in the classroom. And just to talk about those facilitators, most of the faculty that you will have standing with you in the classroom have industrial experience. They also undertake consultancy and undertake research. And all of that information is, of course, fed back into the classroom. Finally, I'd like to say that, our relationship with Thornton also means that we are very close to practice too. And I think the combination of themselves and Cranfield makes a very compelling argument to come on the Cranfield program. We partnered with Thornton since we launched the Apprenticeship Executive MBA back in 2017. We knew that combining a leading business school with a top 6 services firm would really give the best outcome for our students. We've worked very closely with Thornton on the design of the program. They teach on the program. And also, one of the things you'll have the opportunity to be involved in is the coaching program. So you have the opportunity, for example, to have a one-to-one coach who are provided by Thornton. So we think this is a wonderful blend. It's been hugely successful and it's great outcomes. The program is designed for middle to senior managers who are looking to develop themselves, who really want to take that next step in their career, perhaps gain some confidence, perhaps fill in some of their gaps that they need Certainly to explore themselves as a leader. I'd say that one of the differentiators with our program is the way that we really look at your leadership skills and develop those and hone those skills. We are looking typically for people that have a first degree and about 5 years plus experience. However, we do welcome applicants who don't fit that mold. So, apply, come and talk to us because we do have a range of students in the program. In terms of demographic, we typically have anybody from sort of 28 up to about 75, I think we had on the last program, but the average works out at about 37. We take people who are from all over the globe, but typically most of our students who are on the apprenticeship are based and are from the UK, but certainly not just from London. We have representation, I think, from over 35 different counties within the UK. In terms of sectors, our students come from all different sectors, and we do support certain sectors with bursaries, certainly the not-for-profit sector. We encourage them to join the program. So yeah, it's a very broad church. I'd also just like to say that we are not just looking for people that wish to develop themselves, but have an interest in developing others. The design of the program is such that you will be working in learning teams. These are groups of about 6 or 7 people, and you will become very close to them, and you will network with them, learn with them, you will submit assignments together. And therefore, this networking within your learning team is critically important in supporting them as well as supporting you. The apprenticeship comes first, and that then leads on to the executive MBA. But we like you to think about this as a seamless program, so you continue on. So the apprenticeship is 15 months, the executive MBA is 13 months, in total 28-month program. And that gives you a qualification, which is both the apprenticeship senior leader and the executive MBA. So you can tailor your program in the second part of the program, in the executive MBA, through the pathways. We have 4 pathways. We have a commercial pathway, we have a finance pathway, we have an entrepreneurship pathway, and a defense export pathway. The first 3 pathways have 3 modules in them. The defense export has a 4th module in it. And just a note, the DE defense export pathway only runs in the January intake. There is also an opportunity to choose what type of international exposure you want. We have an international business assignment, which is an overseas opportunity for you to travel abroad and really experience the cultures and understanding of how business is done in a number of different countries. Or we have the IBE, it's the International Business Environment module, which is actually taught at Cranfield, but you will be exposed to a whole range of people from different cultures and ways of working who come into Cranfield and actually teach you. There's many ways in which participants will learn. Firstly, I think if you just think about the journey, so for each module that you'll be taught, there will be some sort of pre-module preparation. That may be pre-reading of the case, a little bit of research. Then you'll be working in your learning teams, perhaps. There'll be time in the classroom. And also, after the module, you'll have an assessment to undertake. What I would say is that all of our learning is very much practice-based, both in the apprenticeship period and the executive MBA. The apprenticeship period, the learning is very much by doing back into the business. Okay, I have mentioned previously that the learning on the executive MBA is more about propelling your career, and the learning is more experiential, more simulation-based. In terms of teaching in the classroom itself, we have a range of teaching methods. We're very proud on the way we deliver our teaching in the classroom. So you can expect business simulations, breakout sessions, case studies, along with the more traditional lectures, but highly interactive. I did sort of mention earlier that the idea of facilitators, we don't tend to talk about lecturers, so highly engaging discussion. And we expect you to be fully engaged in that. Typically, you will be coming in once a month for 3 days. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday format. Outside of that, we typically say you could be doing another 10 hours or so of work. That varies depending on the module you happen to be going through. Those that you're more familiar with, clearly you might be able to spend a bit less time, although you'll probably be supporting other colleagues. But for some of those that are new to you, you could be spending more time. What I would say is, of course, like anything, it's how much you put in is what you get out of it. The overall fee for the program is £27,000. If you take the IBA, then there's an additional fee of £2,500 that covers the cost of that, but that's optional. Out of that £27,000, if your organisation is within the levy scheme, the apprenticeship levy scheme, and you are eligible, you can draw down against that up to £14,000, and that covers the apprenticeship part of the program. Then there is the top up, which is £13,000, and the company can pay that, the student can pay that, or it can be a combination of the two. You can decide how that top up is actually funded. I think for me, it's walking into a classroom at the beginning of the program, seeing all of these faces, and over the period of the program, seeing people really develop. And that development, it comes in so many different ways. The range of people we have in the classroom, the rich discussions, the ability to learn from each other, not just the experienced person at the front of the class, although that is important, but it's those discussions that you have, the ability to take on problems that you wouldn't have been able to tackle when you first came into the program, the ability to build your own leadership style. We really will examine you as a leader and see people develop over the period. You know, people develop lifelong relationships during the executive MBA, and that's hugely powerful in itself. And I know because of the feedback we get from students years afterwards. I've been at Cranfield for 27 years. That tells you how much I love it. But, I get emails, they could be 5-10 years later, coming back to me and saying, Mike, do you remember when we talked about this element? I just put that into practice. So I think for me, it's just seeing how even quite mature, developed senior managers still have that capacity to learn and build and grow. And I think that's what's wonderful about the Cranfield way of learning and the people we have in the actual cohorts.